Om Shri Ramcharitmanas, the Mansa lake containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, descent 5 Sundar Kanda. I adore the Lord of the universe, bearing the name of the Rama, the chief of the Raghulines, and the creed jewel of the kings, the mind of the compassions, the dispeller of the sins, appearing in the human form through his Maya, deluding potency, the greatest of all gods, knowledge knowable through Vedanta, the Upanishad, constantly worshipped by Brahma, the creator, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, and Shesha, the serpent god, the bestower of the supreme peace in the form of the final beatitude, placid, eternal, beyond the ordinary means of cognitions, sinless and all pervading. There is no other craving in my heart, O Lord of Raghu. I speak the truth, and you are the spirit indwelling the heart of the all. Grant me intense devotion to your feet, O creed jewel of the Raghu, and free my mind from fault like concupiscence, etc. I bore the son of the wind god, the beloved devotee of the ShriRam, the lord of the Raghus, the chief of the monkeys, the repository of the all virtues, the foremost among the wise, a fire to consume the forest of the demon race, possessing a body shining as a mountain of the gods and home of the immeasurable strength. Hanumana was much delighted at heart to hear the heartening speech of Jamvan. He said, suffering hardship and living on bulbs, roots, and fruit, wait for me, brethren, still I returns after seeing Sita. I am sure our object will be accomplished, as I feel very cheerful. So saying, and after bowing his head to them all, he has set out full of joy with the image of ShriRam, the Lord of Raghus, and shine in his hearts. There was a beautiful hill on the sea coast. He lightly sprang on to its tops, and invoking the hero of Raghuline again and again, the son of the wind god took a leap with all its mights. The hill on which Hanumana planted his foot, while leaping, sank down immediately into the nethermost regions, Patala. Hanumana sped forth in the same way as a failed shaft of the Shriram, the Lord of Raghu, knowing him to be the Shrirama's emissary, the deity presiding over the ocean, spoke to Mount Manka, relieve him of his fatigues, O Manka, by allowing him to rest on you. Hanuman simply touched the mountain with his hands and then make obeisance to saying, there can be no rest for me till I have accomplished Shrirama's work. The god saw the son of the wind god swinging along, and in order to test his extraordinary strength and intelligence, they said Sursai, mother of the serpents, who came near him and said, the gods have provided me a meal today. On hearing these words, the son of the wind god said in reply, let me return after accomplish Sri Rama's errand and tell my lord the news of the Sita. Then I will approach you and enter your mouth. I tell you the truth, mother, only let me go now. When, however, she would not let him go on any account, Hanumana said, then why not you devour me? She distended her mouth to a distance of the 8 miles, while the chief of the chief of the monkeys, grew double in size of her mouth. She scratched her mouth to the circumference of the 128 miles, and the son of the wind god immediately took a form covering 256 miles. Even as Sursa expanded her jaws, the chief of the monkey men feasted a form twice as large as her mouth, and she further expanded her mouth 800 miles wide. The son of the wind god assumes a very minute forms, by which she entered her mouth and came out again, and bowing his head to her, begged leave to proceed. I have gauged the extent of your wits and strength, the errand for which the god has dispatched me. You will accomplish all the work of the Sri Rama storehouse, that you are of the strength and intelligence. Having blessed Hanumana, she departed, and Hanumana too joyfully resumed his journey through the air. There was a daemon whose dwell in the ocean and would catch the birds in the air by conjuring tricks. Seeing on the surface of the water the reflection of the creature that concerts in the air, she would catch it, and the birds was unable to move. In this way she would devour birds every day. She employed the same trick against Hanumana, but the chief of the monkey at once saw through her game. The valiant son of the wind god dispatched her and swept across the ocean. Resolute of mind as he was reaching the other shores, he gazed on the loveliness of the forest with the bees humming in the quest of the honey. Trees of the various kinds looked charming with fruits and the flowers, and he was particularly delighted at heart to see the numerous birds and the bees. Beholding a huge mountain ahead of him, he fearlessly ran up to its summit. The chief of the monkey, O Uma Parvati, deserved no credit for it. It was the attributable for the glory of the Lord, who devoured that himself. Climbing up the hill, he surveyed Lanka, a most marvelous fortress that defies description. It was very high and was enclosed by the ocean on all sides. The rampart of the gold shed great luster all around. The charming city was enclosed by the fortification wall of the gold, inlaid by the precious stones of the various kinds, and contained many beautiful houses, crossroads, bazaars, lovely streets, and the lanes, and was decorated in every way. Who was count the multitudes of the elephants, horses, and mules, the crowds of the foot soldiers in the carrots, and the troops of the demons of the every shape, a formidable host beyond all description. Grove and orchards, garden and parks, lakes, and also well, big and small, looked charming. Daughter of the human being, Nagas, gods, and Gandharvas, celestial musicians, enraptured with their beauty the minds of even hermits. Here rode mighty wrestlers and rode with huge mountain-like forms. They grappled with one another in many ways in different courts and challenged one another to a duel. Merits of the champion possessing frightening forms seriously guarded the city on all sides. Elsewhere, the wild demons feasted on buffaloes, human beings, cows, donkeys, and goats. Tulsidas has briefly told their story only because they will drop their bodies a holy place in the form of Sri Rama's arrow and thereby attain the supreme state. Seeing a host of the guards defending the city, the chief of the monkey thought to himself, "Let me assume the very minute forms and enter the city at night." Hanumana assumes a form as small as gnat, and invoking the Lord in Hanuman semblance, Bhagwan Sri Rama headed towards Lanka. At the gateway of the Lanka lived a demoness, Lankini by name. "Why should you be going heedless of me?" she said. "Fool, have you not been able to know who I am? Every thief hereabout is my food." The great monkey dealt here such a blow with his fist, and she toppled down, vomiting blood. Recovering herself, Lankini stood up and joining her palm in dismay, humbly addressed him. When Brahma granted Ravana the boon he had asked for, the Creator furnished me with the following clue to the extermination of the demon race. While departing, when you get discomfited by the blow from the monkey, know that all it's over with the demon race. I must have earned very great merit, dear Hanumana, that I have been blessed with the sight of the Sri Rama's own messenger. In one scales of the balance, dear son, put together the delights of the heavens and the bliss of the final beatitude, but they will all be overweighed by the moment joy derived from the communion with the saints. Enter the city with the Lord of the Yodhya, ancients in your heart, and accomplish all your business. Poison is transformed into the nectar, foes from turns friends. The ocean contract itself the size of the cow's footprints. Fire become cool, and Mount Mary, O Garuda, appears like a grain of sand to him on whom Sri Rama has cast his benign look. Hanumana assumes a very minute forms, and invoking Sri Rama entered the city. He ransacks every mansion and saw countless warriors here and there. Then he made his way into the Ravana's palace, which was marvelous beyond words. He saw the demon chief buried in sleeves, but he did not find Vidya's daughter there. He then noticed another splendid building with a temple of Sri Rama's standing apart. The mansion had the weapons, bows, and the arrow of the Sri Rama's painted on its walls and was beautiful beyond words. The monkey chief rejoiced to see clusters of the young tulsi plants there. Lanka is the abode of the gang of the demonstrator. How could a pious man take up his residence here? While the monkey chief was thus reasoning within himself, Vishnu Ravana's younger brother woke up. He began to repeat Sri Rama's name in prayers, and Hanu was delighted at heart to find the virtuous soul. I shall make acquaintance with him at all events, for one's cause would never suffer at the hands of the good men. Having thus resolved, assumes the form of the Brahmans and accosted Vibhishana. As soon as he heard Hanuman's words, he rose and came where the latter was. Bowing all low, he inquired about the Brahman's welfare. "Tell me all about you, holy sir. Are you one of the Srihari's own servants, Narada and others? My heart is filled with exceeding love for you, your sight. Or are you the Rama's himself, a loving friend of the poor, who have come to blame me by your sight?" Thereupon Hanumana told him all about Sri Rama's and disclosed his identity as well. The moment Vibhishana heard this, a thrill ran through the body of the both, and they were transported with joy at the thought of the Sri Rama's host of virtues. Hear, O son of the wind god, how I am living here. My plight is similar to that of the poor tongue which lives in the midst of the teeth. Will the Lord of the solar race, dear friends, ever show his grace to me, knowing me to the masterless, endowed as I am with a sinful dominatic form? I am incapable of doing any sadhana, striving for the God realization, and my heart cherish no love to the Lord's lotus feet. But I am now confident, Hanumana, that Sri Rama will shower his grace on me, for one cannot never meet the saints without Sri Hari's grace. It is only because of her hero Raghu race have been kind to me that you have blessed me with your sights unsolicited. Listen, Vibhishna, the Lord of the ever affectionate to his servants, for such is his own. Tell me what superior birth can I claim, a frivolously monkey while in every way, so much so that if anyone mentions our names early in the morning, he is sure to go without any food that day. Listen, my friend, though I am so wretched, Raj hero of the Raghuras has shown his grace even to me, and his eyes filled with tears as he recalled the Lord's virtue. It is not to be wondered that those who knowingly forget such a lord and go adrift should be unhappy. Thus, recounting Sri Rama's virtue, Hanumana derived unspeakable solace. Then Vibhishana fully narrated how Janaka's daughter had been living there. Thereupon Hanumana said, "Listen, brother, I should like to see Mother Sita." Vibhishana fully explained to him the method of seeing her, and the son of the wind god took leave of Vibhishana and proceeded on his errand, assuming the same minutes from as he had taken. Therefore, he repaired to the Ashoka gardens where Shiva dwelt. He mentally bowed to her as soon as he saw her. Obviously, she has been squatting away the hours of the night, emaciated in body. She wore a single braid of matted hair on her head and repeated to herself the list of the Sri Rama's excellency. She has her eyes fixed on her own feet, while her mind was absorbed in the thought of Sri Rama's lotus feet. The son of the wind god felt extremely miserable to see Janaka's daughter said, concealing himself among the leaves of the trees, he must within himself, "Come, sir, what should I do?" At the very moment Ravana arrived there, gaily adorned and accompanied by the troops of the women, the wretch tried to prevail upon her in many ways through friendly advice, allurements, threats, and extravagances. Said Ravana, "Listen, O beautiful and wise lady, I will make Mandodari and all other queens your handmaids. I swear, providing your cast your look on me only once." Interposing a blade of the grass between herself and Ravana and fixing her thoughts on her most beloved Lord Sri Rama, the king of the Videha's daughter rejoiced. "Listen, O ten-headed monster, can a lotus flower ever expand in the glow of the firefly? Ponder this at heart." Continued Janaka's daughter, "Perhaps you have no idea what Sri Rama's shafts are like. So wretch, you carried me off at the time when there was none by my sides, yet you do not feel ashamed so while in the impudent rough." Hearing himself likened to the glow worms and the Sri Ramas compared to the suns and the surprised at her harsh words, the monster drew out his sword and said, "Sita, you have hurled on me on an insult. I will cut off your head with my relentless swords. If not, obey my commands at once, or else you lose your life. O beautiful lady, my lord's arm is as lovely as a string of the blue lotuses, and shapely and long as the trunk of the elephant. So ten-headed monster, earlier that arms of your dreadful sword will have my neck. Hear this, my Solomon woes, O fool, turning the Ravana's glittering scimitars. Take away, O Chandramasha, the burning anguish of my heart, caused by the fire of the separation from the Lord of the Raghu. You possess a cool shape, sharp and good blood, therefore relieve the burden of my sorrow." Sita said, on hearing these words, he rushed forward to kill her. If it was Queen Mandodari, Ramaya's daughter, who intervened and pacified him with words of the word of the good counsel, summoning all the damners posted there, he said, "Go and intimidate Sita in every way. If she does not accept my proposal in a month's time, I will draw my sword and behead her." Having issued these instructions, the ten-headed Ravana returned to his palace, while the host of the friendness, the Ashoka grew, assumed various kinds of the hideous forms and intimidated Sita. One of these damners, Trishta by name, was devoted to Sri Rama's feats and perfect in spiritual wisdom. She summons all her companions, told them her dream, and exhorted them to serve Sita and thus blessed themselves. In my dreams, a monkey burnt Lankas and the whole demon host was killed. As for the 10-headed Ravana, I saw him mounted on the donkey, all naked, with his hands swans and his 20 arms chopped off. In this fashion he went his way to the south, and it was appears that Lanka has had passed into the hands of the Vishnu. Srirama's victory was proclaimed by beat of the drum throughout the city. It was then that the Lord Srirama sent for Sita. The Lord the this She sent to say, the dream I loudly proclaim will not true a few days hence. Thence they were all dismayed to hear her words and fell at the feet of Janka's daughter. Then they all dispersed in various directions, and Sita anxiously thought within himself, at the end of the month the wild monster will slay me. With joined palms, she said to Trishta, Mother, you are my only companion in adversity, therefore quickly devise a means there whereby I may be enabled to cast off this body, for this desolations, which is so hard to bear, can no longer be endured. Bring some wood and put up a prey, and then my mother set fire on it. Thus prove the genuineness of my love for the Lord. O wise lady, who will stand Ravana's word that pierces the ears like a shaft? On hearing these words, she clasped Sita's feet and comforted her by recounting the majesty, might, and glory of her Lord. Listen, O tender lady, no fire can be had at night. So saying, she left for her residence. Sita said to herself, Heaven itself has turned hostile to me, therefore no fire to be had at I cannot cure my agony otherwise. Sparks of the fire are visibly seen in the heaven, but not a single star dropped to the earth. The moon, through all fire, refuses to rain sparks, as if conscious of my restlessness. Hear my prayer, O Ashoka tree. There take away my sorrow and answer to your name. Your fresh and the tender leaf bear the color of the flames. Therefore, supply me with fire and do not with fire and do not aggravate my agony beyond limits. The moment seems like an age for the Hanuman as she beheld Sita extremely distressed due to her separation from her lord. Then taking thought within himself, Hanuman the monkey chief dropped down the cygnus rings. As so the Ashoka trees has thrown an ember, it is response to her prayers. She sprang up with joy and took it in her hand. Now she saw the charming rings and the name of the ShriRama most beautifully engraved on it. Recognizing the ring, she looked at it with wonder and was agitated at heart with a mixed feeling of joy and sorrow. Who can conquer the invincible Lord of the Raghus? And such a divine ring cannot be prepared through Maya, a conjuring trick. At Sita, thus entangled in fancies of the various kinds, Hanumana spoke his honeyed accents and began to recount Sri Ramachandra's praises. The moment they reached Sita's ears, her grief took flight. She listened with all her souls and ears with Hanuman narrated the whole stories from the very beginning. Wherefore does he who had told the tale with is like an actor to my ears, now not reveal himself. Therefore Hanuman drew near her while Sita sat with her back turned towards him full of amazement. I am Sri Rama's messenger's mother Janki. I solemnly swear by all the merciful Lord himself. The ring has bought by me, O mother. Sri Rama gave it to me as a token for you. Tell me what brought about this fellowship between man and monkey. The Hanuman explained the circumstance in which the union was brought about between man and monkeys. As she heard the monkey's affectionate words, she had an inclination had an had an inclination to believe him, and she know him to be a servant of the all merciful Lord is through words, thoughts, words, and deed. Perceiving him to be the devotee of the Sri Rama, she devoted the intense affection for him. Her eyes filled with tears and thrill ran through her body. To me, who was being drowned in the ocean of desolation, dear Hanuman, you have come as a veritable bark. Now tell me, I adjure you, the welfare of all blissful Sri Raman, the slayer of the Khara, and his younger brother Lakshmana. Wherefore has the tender-hearted and the compassionate lord of the Raghu become so hard-hearted. Does the chief of the Raghu ever remember me, he who is by natural disposition a source of delight to his servants? Will my eyes, dear Hanumana, be ever gladdened by the sight of the Swarthi and delicate limbs? Words fails hers, and her eyes swam with tears. Ah, my lord, you have entirely forgotten me. Seeing Sita so distressed due to her separation from her lord, Hanuman addressed her in the soft and the polite accents. The Lord and his younger brother Lakshmana are both doing well. Mother, expect for the fact that the All Merciful is sorrowful because of your sorrow. Do not feel vexed at heart, Mother. Sri Rama loves you twice as much as you love him. Mother, compose yourselves now and hear the message of the Sri Rama, Lord of Raghu. Even as he utters these words, the monkey voice was choked with emotion and his eyes filled with tears. Sri Rama said, ever since I have been separated from you, Sita, everything to me has become its nature is very reversed. The fresh and the tender leaves on the trees look like tongues of fires. Nights appear as dreadful as a night of the final dissolution, and the moon scorches like the sun. Beds of the lotus like so many spheres planted on the ground, while rain clouds pour boiling oil as it were. Those that were friendly before have now become tormenting. The cool, soft, and the fragrant breeze are now like the hissing serpents. Once agonies assuaged to some extent even by speaking of it, but to whom shall I speak about it? For there is no one who will understand the reality about the cord of love that binds you and me. Dear, is known to my mind alone, is known to my mind, and my mind ever abides with you. Know this to be the essence of my love. Vidya's daughter was so absorbed in love the moment she heard the Lord's message that she lost all consciousness of her body. Said the monkey, Mother, collect yourselves and fix your thoughts on Sri Rama, the light of the servants. Reflect on the glory of the Lords of the Raghu and shake off all faint-heartedness upon my word. The host of the Ramans are like so many moths, while the shafts of the lords of the Raghus are like flames. Have courage in your heart, Mother, and take the demons as consumes. Had the hero of the Raghu lines any news about you, the Lord of Raghu would not have tarried. The moment Sri Rama arose makes this appearance like the sun, the demon host would be scattered like the shadow of the night. Mother, I would take you to him this very moment, but I swear by Rama, I have no such order from the Lord. Therefore, wait patiently for some days, mothers, till the hero of the Raghuline arrive with the troops of the monkey. Slaughtering the demons, he will take you away, while Narada and the other six will glorify him in the three spheres of creations. But my son, all the monkeys must be pigeons like you, where the demons are mighty and the great warriors. I have a grave misgiving in my heart on this course. On hearing of this, monkeys reveals his real forms, colossal as a mountain of the gold, terrible in battle, possessing great might and full of valor. Sita was to comfort in her heart, and the son of the wind god thereupon resumes the diminutive appearance. Listen, mother, monkey possesses no great strength or intelligence either, but through the Lord's might, the most tiny shake might swallow Garuda, the king of the mount of the Bhagwan Vishnu. Sita felt gratified at heart on the she heard the monkey's word full of devotion, revealing the Sri Rama's majestic glory and strength, recognizing him as a beloved of she gave him her blessings. May you become a repository of the strength and virtue, dear sons. May you ever remain immune from old age and the death, and prove to be a storehouse of the good qualities, my son. And may the Lord of the Raghu shower his abundant grace on you. The moment the words "May the Lord of the gracious of you" reached the ears of Hanuman was utterly overwhelmed with emotions. Again and again the monkey bowed his head at her feet and with joined palm addressed him thus: I have now accomplished all that I had to accomplish, my mother. For your blessing, everyone know is unfailing. Listen, mother, I am feeling frightfully hungry at the sight of these trees laden with the delicious fruit. I tell you, my mother, son, I tell you, son, this grove is guarded by most valiant and the mighty demons. Mother, I am not at all afraid of them, only if I have your hearty approval. Seeing the monkey's perfect in strength and with Janka's daughter said, Go, my son, enjoy the delicious fruit with your heart fixed on the Sri Rama's feet. Bowing his head, he went forth and entered the grove, and having eaten the fruits, he began to break down the trees. A number of warriors has been posted here as guarded. Some of them were killed with them, while the rest took flight and tried to help. O Lord of the huge monkey has made his appearance and laid face the Ashoka grove. He has eaten fruits, uprooted trees, and the and having crushing the watchmen, he laid them on the ground. On hearing this, Ravana dispatched a number was no, dispatched a number of his champions. Hanumana rode when they saw them and slaughtered the whole demon's host. A few that had survived through well nigh killed escaped screaming. Ravana then sent Prince Aksa, who sailed forth with a vast number of the best warriors. Seeing them approach, Hanumana seized the trees and threatened them, and having overthrown the prince, rode with a loud yell. Some he slew, some he crushed, and some he seized and pondered with dust, and some who escaped cried to Lord of the Monkeys, too strong for us. The king of the Lanka flew into the rage with when he heard his son's death and sent the mighty Meghnata, kill him not, my sons, but bind him. Let us see the monkey and ascertain wherefrom he come. Meghnata, the conqueror of Indra, sailed forth a fearless champion, seized with fury at the news of his brother's death. When Hanuman to meet him, he tore up a tree of the enormous size and smashed with it the cars, thus rendering the crown prince of the Lanka without carrots. As for the mighty warriors who accompanied him, Hanumana seized them one by one and crushed them by the weight of his limbs. Having finished them off, he closed with Meghnata. It was like the sprang and climbed up a tree, while Meghnata lay conscious. For the moment he rose again and resorted to many and delusive devices, but the son of the wind god was not be vanquished. Meghnata ultimately fitted to his bow and arrow, known by the Brahmastra, the weapon presiding over Brahma. When Hanumana thought within himself, if I submit not to the Brahma our weapon, its intimate glory will be cast to the wind. He launched the Brahmastra again, Hanumana, who crushed the whole host when even as he fell. When he saw the monkey has swooned, he entangled the latter in the roots of the serpents and carried him off. Now, Parvati, it is the conceivable that the envy of the lords, whose very name enables the wise to cut asunder the bond of the mundane existence, should come under bondage. No, it was the service of the Lord that Hanuman allowed himself to be bounded. When the demons heard that the monkey had been captured as news, they all rushed to the court in order to enjoy the spectacle. The monkey arrived and saw Ravana's court. His superb glory befitted description. Even gods and regents of the quarter stood meek with joined palm, all watching the movement of his eyebrows is the great dismay. But the monkey's mind was no more disturbed at the sight of the power than Garuda, the king of the birds, would be frightened in the midst of the number of serpents. When the ten-headed monster saw the monkey, he laughed and railed at him, but presently he recalled his son's death and fell sad at heart. Said the king of the, who are you, monkey, and by whose might have you wrought the destruction of the grove? What, did you never hear my name? Never hear my name. I see you are an extraordinarily bold wretch. For what offense did you kill the demons? Tell me, fool, are you on no afraid of losing your life? Listen, Ravana, recall him by whose might Maya nature brings forth numberless universe, by whose might, O ten-headed monster, Brahma, Hari, Vishnu and Isha Shiva carry on their respective function of creation, preservation and destruction, by whose might the thousand-headed serpent Shesha supports on the head of the entire globe with its mountain and the forest, who assumes various forms in the form of to protect the gods and to protect the O ten-headed monster Brahma, Shri, Shiva carry on their respective function of creation, preservation, and destruction, by whose might the thousand-headed serpent Shesha supports on his head the entire globe with the mountain forest, who assumes various forms in order to protect the gods and teaches the lesson to wretch like you, who broke Shiva's unbending bow and crushed with it the pride of the host of the demons, who dispatched Khara, Dushna, Trishita and Vali, all unequaled in strength, while an iota of whose might you were able to conquer the entire creation, both animate and inanimate, and who spouse. By the iota of those white, you were able to conquer the entire creation, both animate and inanimate, and whose beloved spouse has been stolen away by you. Know me to be his enemy. I am aware of your glory. You had an encounter with Shastra Bahu and won distinctions in your contest with Vali. Ravana, heard the words of Hanumana but locked them away. I ate the fruit because I feel hungry and broke the board as a monkey is wont to do. One's body my master supremely dared to at all, yet whose big follower would insist on lumbering me so that I had no course left but to return their blow. Still, your son Meghnata put me in bond, but I am not at all ashamed of being bound. Keen as I am the service of the cause of my Lord, I implore you by with joint palm, Ravana, give up your haughtiness and give up your haughtiness, give up your haughtiness and heed my advice. Think of your lineage and lineage and we and think of your lineage and view things to the preserved perspective. In any case, delusions yourselves and ShriRam and adore him who dispels the fear of his all created being, both animated, inanimated, God as well as demons, and returns Janka's daughter at my request. Lord Sri Rama, the slayer of the Kara, is the protector of the suppliants and the ocean of the compassion. Forgetting your offense, he will give you shelter if you but turns to him for protection. Install the image of Sri Rama, lotus feet in your heart and enjoy the uninterrupted sovereignty of the Lanka, the glory of the Sikh Pulasya, your glory of the Sikh Pulasya, the glory of the install the image of Sri Rama, lotus feet in your heart, enjoy the uninterrupted sovereignty to Lanka, the glory of the Sikh Pulasya, your grandfather shines like the moon without a spot. Be not speck in that moon. Speech is charmless without Sri Rama's name. Ponder and see for yourselves, casting aside arrogance and infatuation. A fair lady without cloth, O enemy of the gods, does not a look to herself, even though adorned with all kinds of jewels. The fortune and lordship of the man who is hostile to Rama eventually leave him, even if they stay a while, and are as good as lost in equine and new. Rivers that have no perennial source get dried up as soon as the as soon as the as soon as the rains are lower. Listen, O ten-headed Ravana, I tell you on oath, there is none to save him who is opposed to Sri Rama, Shankara, Vishnu, and Brahma, and in their thousands are unable to protect you, an enemy of the Sri Rama. Abundant pride, which is the same as darkness, tamoguna, darkness, rooted as it in the ignorance and the source of the considerable pain and source of the considerable pain, ignorance, and adored Lord Rama, the chief of the Raghu and ocean of the compassion. Although Hanumana gave him exceedingly salutary advice full of devotion, discretion, anticipation, and wisdom, the most haughty Ravana laughed and said, "We have found a most wise guru in this monkey." Turning towards Hanumana, he continued, "Death hangs over your head, O wretch. That is why you have started exhorting me, O wild monkey." "Just the contrary is going to happen," retorted Hanuman. "I clearly perceive that you are laboring under some mental illusions." Hearing these words of Hanuman, Ravana got netted. "Why not some of you quickly kill this fool?" As soon as the demons heard this and rushed forward to kill him, that very moment came Vishnu, Ravana's younger brother, with his counselors. Bowing his hat he made humble entreaty. "It is against all statecrafts, and envy must not be killed. He may be punished in some other ways, my master." All exclaimed to one another, "This is sound counselor, brother." Hearing this, the ten-headed Ravana laughed and said, right, all right, the monkey may be sent back mutilated. A monkey is very fond of his tail. I tell you the secrets, therefore swathe his tails with rag, soak his wires, and then set fire on it. When the tailless monkey will go back, the wretch will bring his master with him, and I shall have an opportunity to see his master, his might. whom he has so lavishingly exalted. Hanumana smiled to himself on hearing these words. Goddess Sharda has proved helpful to me, I believe. On hearing Ravana's commands, the stupid demons started doing as they were bid. Not a rag, not a rag was left in the city, nor a drop of the ghee, clarified butter, or oil in the tail has grown to great a length through Hanumana's playful gestures. The citizens thronged to see the fun. They kicked Hanuman and jeered much at him. With beating of the drums and clasping of heads, they took him round the cities and then set fire to his tails. Then, when Hanumana saw the fire blazing, he immediately assumes an utterly diminutive size and slipping out of his bonds sprang to the attic to the gold palace to the dismay of the damners. At the moment impelled by the gods, all the 49 winds began to bluster. Hanumana roared with the loud laugh and swelled to such a size that he seems to touch the sky. Though colorless in the size, Hanuman appeared most nimble bodied. He ran and sprang from the palace to palace. The city was all ablaze, and the people were at their wits' ends. Terrible flames burst forth in the merits, and piteous cries were heard everywhere. O Father, my mother, who will save us at this hour? As I said, he is no monkey, but some god in the form of the monkey. Such is the result of displacing a noble soul. The city is being consumed by the fire as though it had no master. It in the twinkling of an eye, Hanumana, it has no master. Noble of fire is being city is being consumed by the fire as though it had no master. In the twinkling of an eye, Hanumana burns down the whole cities, bearing the solitary house of the Vishnu. Parvati continued Lord Shiva. Hanumana went unscathed because he was the messenger to him who created fire him itself. He burns the whole the Lanka from one end to the another and leaped into the ocean. After quenching the tail and relieving the fatigues, he resumes the diminutive form and stood before Janaka's daughter with joined palm. Be pleased, mother, to give me some token such as the Lord of Raghu gave me. She thereupon unfastens the jewels on her head and gave it to the son of the wind god, who gladly received it. Convey my obeisance to him, dear son, with these words: My Lord is all sufficient. Yet recalling you, your woe of the kindness to the afflicted, relieve, O Master, my grievous distress. Repeat to him, my sons, the episodes of the Indra's sons Jayantas, and remind the Lord of the might of his arrow. If the Lord does not arrive here within a month, he will not find me alive. Tell me, Hanumana, how can I preserve my life? For you too, my sons, now speaks of good. Your sight had brought relief to my heavy heart. I have before me now the same dreary days and the weary night. Reassuring Janaka's daughter, he consoles her in many ways, and bowing his head at her lotus feet, set forth to meet ShriRama. While leaving, he roared aloud with such a terrible noise that the wives of the demons miscarried. Taking a leap across the ocean, he reached the opposite shores and greeted his fellow monkeys with a shrill cry of joy. They were all delighted to see Hanuman and felt as if they had been born anew. He wore a cheerful countenance, and the body shone with a brilliance which left no doubt in his mind that he had executed Sri Ramchandra commission. They all met him and felt as delighted as fish writhing with agony for lack of water would feel and getting it. They then gladly proceed to see the lords of Raghu's, asking and telling the latest event on their way. They all entered Sugriva's gardens called Madhuvana, and with Angada consents began to eat the delicious fruits. When the guards interfered, they were beaten and fished till they took to their heel. They all approached Sugriva and complained that the crown princess was lying waste for the royal garden. Sugriva rejoiced to hear this, for he concluded that the monkey must have returned after accomplishing the Lord's business. If they had failed to get any news of the Sita, they could never dare to eat the fruit of Madhuvana. While the king was thus musing, the monkey chief arrived with their party. Drawing near, they all bowed their hat at their feet, and the lord of the monkey receives them all most accordingly and inquired after lord of the monkey their welfare. It is well with us now that we have seen your feet, my Rama's grace. The work has been accomplished with remarkable success. It is the Hanumana, your majesty, who did everything and saved the life of the whole monkey host. Hearing the Sugriva's embraced him again, then proceeded with the monkeys to see the Lord of the Raghu. When ShriRam saw the monkeys approaching with their missions duly accomplished, he was extraordinarily delighted at heart. The two brothers were seated on the crystal rocks, and all the monkeys went and fell at their feet. The all-merciful Lord of Raghu embraced them all with affection and asked of their welfare. All is well with us now that we have seen your lotus feet. Said Jaman, listen, O Lord of the Raghu, he on whom you bestow your blessing is never lucky and inaccessible, happy God, human being, and the sages are all kind to him. He alone is victorious, modest, and the ocean of virtue. His fair renown shines brightly through all the three spheres of the creation. Everything has turned out well by the grace of my Lord. Today our birth has been consummated. The achievements of the Hanumana, the son of the wind god, cannot be described even with 1,000 tongues. Jaman then related to the Lord of Raghu the charming exploit of Hanumana, the son of the wind god. The all merciful felt much delighted at heart to hear them, and his joy he clasped Hanumana once more to his bosom. Tell me, dear Hanumana, how does Janka's daughter pass her days and sustain her life? Your name keeps watch night and day, while her continued throw of your act as a pair of the closed doors. She has her eyes fastened on her own feet. Her life thus finds no outlet whereby to escape. When I saw leaving, she gave me his jewels from the top of her head. The Lord of the Raghu took it and pressed it to his bosom. My Lord, with tears in both her eyes, Janka's daughter uttered the following few words: Embrace the feet of my Lord and his younger brother, O befriender of distress, relieve the suppliant's agony. I am devoted to your feet in thoughts, words, and deed. Yet for my offense, my Lord, have you forsaken me. I do admit one fault of mine, that my life did not depart the moment I have separated from it. That, however, my Lord, is the fault of my eyes, which forcibly prevent my life from escaping. The agony of the separation from you is like fire. My sighs fan it as a gust of the winds, and between it stands my body like a heap of the cotton, which would have been consumed in an instant. But my eyes, in their own interest, for being unable to feast themselves your beauty, rain a flood of the tears. That is why the body fails to catch the fire of desolation. Sita's distress is so overwhelming great, and you are so compassionate to the afflicted, that is better not to describe it. Each single moment, O fountain of the mercy, passed like an age of her. Therefore, march quickly, my Lord, and vanquishing the miscreant crew by your mighty arm, recover her. When the all-merciful Lord heard the Sita's agony, tears rushed to his daughter's eyes. Do you think anyone who depends on me in thoughts, words, and deed can ever dream of the adversity? Said Hanumana. There is no misfortune other than ceasing to remember and adore you. Of what accounts are the demons of you routing the enemy? You will surely bring back Janka's daughter. No one endowed with a body, a good human being or sage, has put me under such obligation. Hanumana, as you have done, ever my mind shrink to face you. How then can I repay your obligation? Listen, my Lord, I have thought over the caution and concluded that the debt which I own you cannot be repaid. Again and again the protector of the god gazed on Hanuman. His eyes filled with tears and his body was overwhelmed with thrill of emotion. Even Hanuman listened to the words of his lords and gazed on his countenance. He experienced a thrill of joy all over his body, and felt as if he is overwhelmed with love and crying, save me from the tentacles of egotism, my Lord. Again and again the Lord sought to raise him up. He, however, was so absorbed in love that he would not raise. The lotus hands of the Lord rested on his head. Gauri's Lord Shiva was overcome with emotion as he called the mind's Hanumana in verbal lords. But recovering himself, Shiva resumes the most charming narrative. The Lord lifted up Hanumana and clasped him to his bosom. Then he took him by the hands and seated him very close to him. Tell me, Hanumana, how could you burn Ravana's stronghold of the Lanka, a most impregnable fortress? When Hanumana found the Lord so pleased, he replied the words altogether free from pride. A monkey's greatest valor lies in his skipping about from one boat to another. That I should have been able to leap across the ocean, burn the gold city, kill the demon host, and lay waste of the Ashoka grove was all due to your might. No credit, my Lord, is due to me for the same. Nothing is unattainable, my Lord, to him to who enjoy your grace. Though you might a where shred of the cotton can surely burn a submarine fire, the impossible can be made possible. Therefore, be pleased, my Lord, to grant me unceasing devotion, which is a source of the supreme bliss. When the Lord of Parvati heard the most artless speech of Hanuman, he said, Be it so, Uma, he who has come to know the true nature of the Rama can have no relish for anything over other than his worship. Even he who taken his dialogues between Sri Ramas and Hanumana to heart is blessed with devotion to Sri Rama's feet. On hearing the words of the Lord, the whole host of the monkeys cried, Glory, glory, all glory to the gracious Lord of the Mount, fountain of the bliss, the Lord of the Raghu. Then summoned Sugriva, the king of the monkey, and said, Make preparations for the march. Why should we tarry any longer? Issue order to the monkey at once. The gods who were witnessing the spectacle rained down flowers in profusions and then gladly withdrew from the lower air to their own celestial spheres. Sugriva, the Lord of Monkey, quickly summons the commanders of the various troops and then presented themselves in multitudes. The troops of the monkeys and bears, varying in colors, were all unequaled in strength. The mighty bears and the monkeys bowed their head to the Lord's lotus feet and rode. Sri Rama surveyed the whole monkey host and cast on them a gracious lotus-like eyes, getting more power from their gaze. The monkey chief vied as it were with the huge mountain equipped with the wings. Sri Rama then sailed forth glad of heart, and many were the delightful and the specious omens that occurred to him. It was the fitness of the things the good omens should appear at the times of his departure on the expeditions, whose glory itself embodied all blessings. Videha's daughter came to know the Lord's march. The throbbing of her left limbs appraises her of the same as it were. But what were good omens for the Janka's daughter forbade it evil for Ravana, who could adequately describe the army as it marched with the countless monkeys and bearing roaring. With no weapons other than the sharp claws, they carried rocks and trees that they were uprooted on the way, and marched now in the air and now in the land, for they had unhampered motions everywhere. The bears and monkeys roared like lions as they marched, while the elephants guarding the 8 cardinal points shook and trampled. The elephants and the 8 cardinal points trembled, the earth rocks, the mountain trembled, and the ocean were agitated. The Gandharvas, gods, Sikhs, and the Nagas and Kinnaras all felt delighted at heart to perceive that the troubles were over. Marrieds and the formidable monkeys, warriors, gnashes their teeth in the bellicose moves, while many more millions dashed forward, crying glory to the Sri Rama's Kaushala, Lord of the mighty valor, and hymning his praises. Even the great Lord, the serpent Shesha, found himself unable to bear the crushing weight of the Belgrade troops and felt dizzy again and again. But each time he would struggle by clutching with his teeth the hard shell of the divine tortoise. The scratches thus made by his teeth would make one imagine as if knowing to departure of Sri Rama, the hero of the Raghuline, on his glorious expedition. To be the most attractive theme, the Serpent King was inscribed in the immortal and sacred story of the tortoise back. Counting his march in this way, the All Merciful arrived at the seashore and halted there. The host of the valiant bears and the monkey began to guttle fruits all round there. Ever since the Hanumana left after burning down Lanka, the demon there had lived in a constant terror. In their own houses, they thought there is no hope for the demon race now. In this, messengers were mighty beyond words. What good would result then? The master himself entered the city. When Mandodari, Ravana's principal queen, heard from her female spices what is the citizens were saying, she felt much perturbed. Meeting her lord in saculations, she fell at his feet and with joined palms addressed to him words steeped in wisdom. My lord, avoid all strifes with Sri Rama. Take my words to your heart as the most salutary advice. My lord, if you seek your own welfare, call one of your ministers and send back with him the consort of their princess Sri Rama, the very thought of whose messengers doing makes the wives of the demon miscarry, just as a frosty night spells disaster to the bed of the lotuses. So Sita has come here as a bane to your race. Listen, my lord, unless you return Sita, not even Shambhu and the Brahma, the creator, can be of any good to you. Rama's arrows are like a swarm of the serpents, while the demon host can only compare with frogs. Therefore, giving up obeisance devised a means of safety before the serpents devoured them. When the foolish Ravana, who was known all the words over his haughtiness, heard Mandodari's admonition, he roared like laughter. A woman is timorous by nature. It is truly sad. She entertains fears even as auspicious occasions, for her mind is very weak. It is the monkey's host comes, the poor demons would feast on them and sustain themselves. The very guardian of the serpents tremble for the fear of me. How ridiculous that you, my wife, should be afraid. So saying, he laughed and embraced her, and then left for his council chambers, exhibiting great fondness for her. Mandodari, however, felt troubled at heart and thought that heaven had turned against her lord. As he occupied his royal seat in the council chambers, he received intelligence that all the invading host has arrived on the other sides of the ocean. He therefore asked his counselors, "Give me proper advice." They, however, laughed and submitted. "Only remain quiet, my lord. Your Majesty experienced no difficulty when you conquered the gods and the demons. Of what account then can man and woman be?" When the ministers, the physicians, and the religious accepted these three uses pleasing words from the fear or hope of the rewards, the result is the dominion, health, and the faith. All the three forfeit go to the dogs. It was such a contingency that presents itself before Ravana. They all extol him only on his face. Perceiving it to be the opportune hour, Vibhishana, Ravana's younger brother, arrived and bowed his head at the brothers' feet. Bowing his heads once more, he occupies his own seats, and when ordered to speak, they addressed him thus: "Since your gracious Majesty has asked me my opinion, I tender it, dear brother, according to my own lights and in your own interest. Let him who seeks after his welfare, good reputation, wisdom, good destiny, after that and joy of the various kinds, turns his eyes away from the brow of the endless wives, even as one should refuse to see the moon on the fourth night and the bright half of the lunar month. Even though a man happens to be the sole lord of the 14 spheres, he would certainly fall in if he turns hostile of to living being. No one will speak well of a man who has slightest avarice, even if he were an ocean of virtue and clever too. Lust, anger, vanity, and the covetousness are all paths leading to hell. Adjuring all these, adores the Lord, hero of the Raghuline, whom saints worship. ShriRama's dear brother is no mere human being. He is the Lord of the universe and the death of the death himself. He is the Brahma absolute, who is free from the malady of the Maya, the unborn gods, all pervading, invincible, without beginning or end, an ocean of the compassion. He had assumed the form of the human being for the good of the earth. The Brahma, the cows, and the gods listen, my brother. He delights his devotees and break the ranks of the impious, and the champion of the Vedas and through religions. Give up enmity with him, bow your head to him, for the Lord of the Raghu relieves the distress of those who seek refuge in him. My master restored Vidya's daughter to the Lord. ShriRama has adored him, the disinterested friend of all. On being approached, he forsake not even him who has incurred sin by the wishing ill to the whole host. Bear this in mind, Ravana, the same Lord whose name destroy the threefold agony, has been feasted himself in human form. Again and again I fell at your feet and pray you, Ravana, adoring pride, infatuation, and arrogance. Adore to the Lord Kaushla, the sake Pulasya, our grandfather, has sent this messenger to us through a discipline of his. Availing myself on this golden opportunity, dear brother, I have immediately coveted it to you. Ravana had a very old and sagacious minister named Malvan. He felt much gratified to hear Vishna's daughter, your younger brother, dear brother, is the very ornaments of the wisdom. Therefore, take a heart with what Vishnu says. Both these fools glorify the enemy. Is there no one here who will remove him from my sight? Malvan thereupon returns to his residence, while Vibhishna begin again and join palm. Rightful intellect and the revered ones dwell in the heart of all. So declare the Puranas and Vedas, my lord. Therefore, there is right type of intellect, prosperity or every kind regains, and where there is unwisdom, misfortune is the inevitable ends. Perversity has obviously taken possession in your heart. That is why you account your friends as foes and your enemies as friends, and that is why you are so very fond of Sita, who is the very night of the destruction for the demon race. clasping your feet, I beseech you, grant this prayer of mine as a token of affection for me. Restore Sita to Rama so that no harm may come to you. Vibhishana spoke wisdom, and the two in the words that had the approval of the wise as well as of the Puranas and Vedas. Ravana, however, rose in fury as soon as he heard them. "O wretch, your death is imminent now. O fool, you have always lived on my generosity. Yet, O dullard, you have favored the enemy's cause. Tell me, wretch, if there is any one in this world whom I have failed to conquer by the might of my arm. Dwelling in my capital, you cherish love for the hermits. If so, go and join hands with them, O fool, and teach wisdom to them." So saying, he kicked the younger brother, who in his trance clasped his brother's feet again and again. "Uma, here lies the greatness of the sense, who returns good even by for the evil. It does not after you have beaten me, since you are like my father to me, but your welfare, my lord, is lies in adoring ShriRama." Taking his minister with him, Vibhishana departed through his air, exclaiming so as to make himself heard by all, "Sri Rama is true to his resolves and all powerful, while your counsellors are all doomed. I therefore now betake myself in the hero of Raghuline to protection. Blame me no more." No sooner had Vibhishana left these words, and then the doom of them all was sealed. This respect to Saint Parvati immediately robes of all one of all blessings. The moment Ravana abandoned Vibhishana, the wretch lost all his glory, indulging in many expectations. Vibhishana, however, gladly proceeded to the Lord of Raghu. On reaching there, I will behold those lotus feet with ruddy soles, so soft and delightful to the devotee. Nay, I will behold those feet whose very touch redeems the RSI Rishi wife Ahilya, that hallowed the Dandaka forest, and the Janka's daughter has locked up in her bosom, that chase the delusive deers and dwell as a pair of the lotuses in the lake of the Shiva's heart. I am really blessed that I am going to see those who very feet. I will go today and presently behold with these eyes of the minds those very feet is whose wooden sandals Bharta's mind remained absorbed. Cherishing such fond expectation, Vibhishana instantly crossed over to the other sides of the ocean where Sri Rama has encamped with his host. When the monkeys saw Vibhishana coming, they took him to some special messengers of the enemy. Detaining him outside, they approached Sugriva, the lord of the monkey, and told him all the news. Said Sugriva, "Listen, O lord of Raghu, Ravana's brother Vibhishana has come to see you." The lords, however, asked, "What do you think of the matter, my friend?" The lord of the monkey replied, "Listen, O ruler of the men, a wiles of these demons are beyond one's comprehensions. One does not know wherefore he has come, capable as he is of taking any form of flight. Obviously, the fool has come to spy out our secrets. What appeals to me, therefore, is that he should be taken prisoners and detained. Friend, you have thought out a wise course, but my woe is to dispel all fear from the minds of those who seek refuge in me." Hanuman rejoiced to hear these words of the lords, who cherished paternal affection for his portage. Those people who forsake a suppliant approaching evil from him are vile and sinful. Their very sight is abominable. I will not abandon even the murder of the marrieds of the Brahmins if he seeks refuge in me. The moment a creature turns its face towards me, the sins incurred by it through millions of the lives are washed away. A sinner by his very nature is averse to my worship. Had Vibhishana been wicked at heart, could he ever dare to approach me? That man alone who has pure mind can attain to me. I have an aversion for duplicacy, vice, and the cancerous. Even if Ravana had sent him to find out our secret, he had nothing to fear of loss. O Lord of the monkey, Lakshmana, O my friend, can dispose of the thrice of the demons the world contains, and if he had sought shelter with me out of fear, I will cherish him as my own life. In either case, bring him here. The all merciful laughed and said, "Glory to the merciful Lord," cried the monkeys, and proceeded with Angada and Hanumana to usher to Vibhishana. The monkeys respectfully placed Vibhishana ahead of them and proceeded to the place where the all merciful Lord of Raghu was. Vibhishana beheld from a distance the two brothers who ravished the eyes of all. Again, as he behold Sri Rama, the home of the beauty, he stopped winkling and stood stock like with the gaze intently fixed on the Lord. He had exceptionally long arms, eyes resembling the red lotuses, and the swarthy limbs that ribs the suppliants of all fear. His loin-like shoulders and the broad chest exercise great charms, while his countenance bewitches the minds of the countless cupids. The sight brought tears to his eyes, and the deep thrill ran through his body. He, however, compares his minds and spokes in gentlest, and my lord, I am Ravana's brother, having been born in the demon race. O protector of my body, has been elements of tamsa, inertia, and the ignorance prepondering in it, and I have natural affinity for the sins, even as the owl is fond of the darkness. Having heard with my own ears of your fair renowns, I have come to you with the belief that my Lord despaired the fear of the rebirth. Save me, O hero of the Raghunai, reliever of the distress, delight of those who take refuge in you. When the Lord saw Vibhishana's falling protest with these words, he immediately started up, which delighted. The Lord rejoiced at heart to hear his humble speech, and taking him to his long arms, clasped him to his bosom. Meeting him with his younger brother Lakshmana, he seated him by his sides and spoke words that dispelled the fear of his devotee. Tell me, kings of the Lanka, if all is well with you and your family, placed as you are the in vicious surrounds you live day and night in the midst of the evil-minded person. I wonder how you are able to maintain your piety, my friend. I know all your ways. You are the past master in correct behavior and are averse of to wrongdoing. It is the much better to live in hell, dear Vishnu, but may Providence never place us in the company of the wicked. All is well with me now that I have behold your feet, O Lord of the Raghu, and since you have shown your mercy on me, recognizing me as your servant, there can be no happiness for the creature, nor can it mind how know any peace, even in a dream, so long as it does not relinquish desire, which is an abode of sorrow, and adore ShriRama yourself. That villainous cruise, greed, infatuation, jealousy, arrogance, and pride haunts the minds only so long as Lord of Raghu does not take up his abode there, armed with the bows and arrow, and with the queer fastened in his vest. Attachment to the word is like a dark night fully advanced, which is so delightful to the all of attraction and aversion. It abides in the hearts of the creature only so long as their Son of the Lord's glory does not shine theirs. Having seen your lotus feet, O Rama, I am now quite well, and my grave fears have been set at rest. The threefold torments of the mundane existence cease to have any effects on him who enjoy your favor, my gracious Lord. I am a demon, vilest of the nature, and have never done any good act. Yet the Lord, whose beauties ever sex fails to perceive with their mind's eyes, has been pleased to clasp me to his bosom. I am blessed beyond measure, O all gracious and all blissful Rama, in that I have beheld with my own eyes the lotus feet which are worthy of adoration even to Brahma and Shiva. Listen, my friend, I tell you my nature, which is known to Baswandi, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, and Girija Parvati too. If a man, even though he has been an enemy of the whole animate and the inanimate creation, comes terror-stricken to me, seeking my protection and discarding vanity, infatuation, hypocrisy, and trickiness of the various kind, I speedily made him to the very like of the servant. The ties of the affection that binds a man to his mother's, father's, brother's, son, wife, body, wealth, house, friends, and relations are like so many threads which a pious soul gathered up and twisted into the strings. Wherefore he binds his souls to my feet. Nay, he look upon all with the same eyes, and has no craving with his mind, and free from the joy, grief, and the fear. A scent of the description abides in my heart, even as a memom resides in the heart of the covetous man. Only scents of you, your type, are dear to me. For the sake of none else do I body myself forth. Those men who have worshipped my personal form are intent on doing good to others, firmly tread the path of rightness, and are steadfast in their vows, and devoted to the feet of the Brahmans are dear to me as life. Listen, O king of the Lanka, you possessed all the above virtues, hence you are extremely dear to me. On hearing the words of ShriRama, all the assembled monkeys exclaimed, Glory to the all merciful. Videha's eagerness Reha's eagerness to hear the Lord's speech, which was the nectar to his ears, knew no sanity. He clasped his lotus feet again and again. His heart bursting with boundless joy. Listen, my Lord, ruler of the whole creation, animate as well as inanimate, protector of the suppliants and knower of all heart. I did have some lurking desires in my heart before, but the same has been washed away by the stream of devotion to the Lord's feet. Now, my gracious Lord, grant me such pure devotion to your feet as that which gladdened Shiva's heart. So be it, replied the Lord, staunch in fight, and immediately asked for the water of the sea. Even though, my friend, you have no craving, my sight is in this words never fails to being the reward. So saying, ShriRam replied on his forehead the sacred mark of sovereignty, and copious shower of the flower rained down from the heaven. Thus did the Lord of the Raghu save Vibhishana from being consumed by the fire of Ravana's wrath, feigned by the fury by his own Vibhishana's breath, and bestowed on him unbroken serenity. Nay, he conferred Vibhishana with much diffidence the same fortune which Lord Shiva has bestowed on Ravana after the latter had offered their 10 head to him in sacrifice. Those men who worship anyone else, giving up such a benign lord, are mere beasts without a frail as a pair of horns. Recognizing Misha as his own man, the Lord accepted him in his service. The amiability of his disposition gladdened the heart of the whole monkey host. Thus the all-merciful, who dwell in the heart of all, is manifested in all forms, though bereft of all and unconcerned, and who had appeared in human semblance with his specific motives, and the exterminator of the demon race spoke words strictly observing the rules of the decorum. Listen, O Lord of the monkey, O valiant sovereign of Lanka, how are we to cross the deep ocean full of alligators, snakes, and the variety of fishes, most unfathomable, difficult to cross in every way? Listen, O Lord of the Raghus, replied the king of the law, although your arrow itself can drive up innumerable ocean, yet propriety demands that you should approach the ocean and request the deity presiding over it to allow your passage. My Lord, the deity presiding over the ocean is ancestor of yours, hence he will think over the question and suggest some means of crossing the ocean. The whole host of the bears and monkeys will thus be able to cross the ocean without much ado. Friend, you have suggested an excellent plan. Let us try it and see the providence help it. Thus counselors, however, did not find favor with Lakshmana, who was greatly pained to hear the ShriRama's words. No reliance can be placed on the frank of the fortune. Fill your mind with indignation and dry up the ocean. Fate in the clutch of the minds of the cowards alone. It is the indolent who proclaims their faith in the fate. Hearing this, the hero of the Raghu line laughed and said, "We shall do accordingly. Pray have patience." Reassuring his younger brother Lakshmana with these words, the Lord of the Raghu went to the seashore. First of all, he bowed his hat and greeted the ocean, and then, spreading some kusha grass on the shore, took his seats thereon. As soon as Vibhishana proceeded towards the Lord, Ravana set spies after them. Assuming the fate appearance, the monkeys then witnessed all the doing of ShriRama and praised in her heart the Lord's virtues and his fondness for those who comes to him for the protection. They openly commenced applauding ShriRama's amiability. In the intensity of their emotion, forget their disgust. The monkey, now recognizing them as enemies' spices, they bound them all and brought them in the presence of Sugriva, the lord of the monkeys. Sir Sugriva, listen, all you monkeys, multitudes, the demons, and they dismissed them. Hearing Sugriva's commands, the monkeys ran and paraded them in the bonds all through the camps. The monkeys then started babbling thus right and left. The demon piteously cried to help, yet the monkey would not let them alone. Whomsoever robs us for our nose and the ears, we adjure him by the ShriRama not to do so. When Lakshmana heard this, he called them all near him, and moved to piety, he laughed and immediately had them released. Give these notes into Ravana's hands and tell him, read, destroyer of your race, where what Lakshmana says. Further, convey to the fool by words of the mouth, by generous message, surrender Sita and make peace of your death is approaching. Bowing their head at Lakshmana's feet, the spies immediately departed, recounting the virtue of ShriRama with ShriRama's praises on their lips. They entered Lanka and bowed their head at Ravana's feet. The 10-headed master laughed and asked them for the news. Report me, Sukha, your own welfare. Then tell me the news about Vibhishana, whose death has approached very near. The fool left Lankas where he was ruling. The wretch will now be crushed as a weevil with barely grains. Tell me next all about the host of the bears and the monkeys. that has been driven over here by the cruel destiny. It is the poor soft-hearted sea that has stood as a protector of their lives. Lastly, tell me the news about the ascetics Ramana and the Lakshmana, whose heart is always with unceasing terror of me. Do you meet them, or did they beat their retreat on hearing my fair renown? Why should you not speak the enemy's prowess and the strength? Your wit seems utterly dazed. My lord, just as you have so kindly put these questions to me, so do you believe that what I say and be not angry. No sooner had your younger brother Vishnu made Sri Rama than the latter applied the sacred mark of sovereignty on his forehead. When the monkey heard that we were Ravana's, your majesty's spices, they bound us and persecuted us in many ways. They were about to cut off our ears and nose, but when we adjured them by Rama not to do so, they let us go. You have inquired, my lords, about Sri Rama's enemies, but the thousands millions tongues would fail to describe it. It is the host of the bears and the monkeys of diverse hues and a gruesome visage, huge and terrible. He who burnt your capital and killed your son Aksa is the weakest of all monkeys. The army includes innumerable champions with as many names, fierce and unyielding monsters of the vast bulk and possessing the strength of numberless elephants. Devidas, Mayankas, Nilas, Nalas, Angadas, Gadas, Vikatsas, Dandimukhas, Kesri, Nishatas, Sathas, and our powerful Jamvans are some of them. Each of these monkeys is as mighty as the Sugriva the king, and there are tens of the millions like them. Who can dare count them? By the grace of Sri Rama, they are unequaled in strength and recall the three spheres of creation as of no more account than a blade of grass. I have heard it said, Ravana, that is the commanders of the various monkey troops alone numbers 18,000 billions in the whole host, my lord. There is not a single monkey who would not conquer you in a battle. They are all wringing their hands in the excess of passion, but the Lord of the Raghu does not order them to march. We shall suck the ocean dry with all its fish and serpents, or fill it with huge mountain. Nay, we shall crush the 10-headed Ravanas and reduce him to the dust. Such were those words that our monkeys uttered. Fearless by nature, they rode and bullied as it were the wood devil Lanka. All the monkeys and the bears are born warriors, and besides they have lords Ramas over their head. Ravana they can conquer in battle even millions of Yamas death personified. Ravana they can conquer in battle even millions of Yamas death personified. 100 of the thousand Seshas would fail to describe the greatness of the Sri Rama's valor, strength, and intelligence. With a single shaft, he could drive 100 seas. Yet, being a master of propriety, he consults your brother Vishnu, and in accordance with the suggestion, he is asking passage of the ocean with a heart full of compassion. The ten-headed monster loved to hear these words. It was because of such wits that Rama, took monkey for his allies. And then that is why, confirming the advice of my brother, who is born coward, he is a persistent in demanding on the ocean like a fat child, something which is impossible. Fool, why do you bestow false praise on the enemies whose might and wisdom I have fathomed? Triumph and glory in the words are inaccessible to him who has cowardly counselors like Vibhishna. The spy waxed angry to hear the words of the wicked monarch, and taking it to be an opportune moment, he took out the letter from Lakshmana. Sri Rama's younger brother Lakshmana gave me this notes. Have it read, my lords, and soothe your hearts. Ravana laughed when he took the letter in his left hand, and summoning his ministers, the fool asked him to read it out. Beguiling your mind with flattering words, O fool, do not bring your race to utter ruin by courting enemies with Sri Ramas. You will not be spared, even though you seek the protection of Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Therefore, abandoning pride like your younger brother, either seeks the lotus feet of the Lord as the bee of the consumes with the family like a moth into the fire of Sri Rama's shafts, O wretch. Ravana was dismayed at heart as he listened to the above message, but wore a fringed smile on his face and spoke aloud for all to hear. The younger hermit's grand eloquence is just like attempt of a man lying on the ground to clutch with hands of the words of heaven, said Sukha. My lord, giving up haughtiness, take every word of it as to abundant anger and give ear to my advice, my lord. Avoid a clash with Sri Rama, the hero of the Raghuline, is exceedingly gentle of disposition. Even though he is a lord of the entire universe, the Lord will shower his grace on you the moment you meet him and will not take to heart even a single offense of yours. Pray restore Janka's daughter to Sri Rama, at least concede this request of mine. When Sukha asked him to the surrender Videha's daughter, the wretch kicked him. Sukha, however, bowed his head at Ravana's feet and proceeded to the place where the all-merciful Lord of the Raghu was making obeisance to the Lords. He took him all about himself and by Rama's grace recovered his original state. He was the 18 enlightened sage. It was by Agastya's curse, Parvati, that he has been transformed into the demons, adoring Sri Rama's feet again and again. The sage returns to his hermitage. The 3 days has elapsed. The cross ocean would not answer the Lord's prayer. Sri Rama thereupon indignantly said, "There can be no love without inspiring fear. Lakshmana, bring me my bow and the arrow. I may as well as dry up the ocean with the missiles presiding over by the god of fire. Supplication before an idiot, friendship with a rough, inculcating liberty on the bond's miser, talking wisdom to one steeped in worldliness, glorifying dissipation before a man of excessive greed, a lecture on the miscontrol to an irresistible man's, and a discourse of the exploit of Shri to the libitious person are the fertile as showing seeds in the barren land." So saying, the Lord of the Raghu sprung his bows and this stands on the Lord's delighted Lakshmana's heart. When the Lord fitted the terrible arrow to his bow, a blazing fire broke out in the heart of the ocean. The alligator, serpents, and the fishes felt distress. When the god presiding over the ocean found the creature burning, he gave up his pride and, assuming the form of Brahmans, came with the gold plate filled with all kinds of jewels. Though one may take infinite pain in the watering a plantain, it will not bear fruit unless it is hewed. Similarly, mark me, O king of the bird, continued Kagbushan, a wild fellow, heed no prayers, but yield only then reprimanded. Yield not only but reprimanded. The god presiding over the ocean clasped the Lord's feet in dismay. Forgive, my Lord, all my faults, ether, air, fire, water, and earth. All these, my lords, are inert by nature. It is my cosmic nature which brought them forth through the purpose of creation, under inspiration from you. So declare all in scriptures. One would attain happiness in life only by remaining where he has been placed by the Lord. My Lord has done well in giving me a lesson, but you have fixed certain innate treat for everyone: a drum, a rustic, a shudra, a beast, and the woman. All these deserve instruction. By the Lord's glory, I shall be dried up and the army will cross over, but this will bring no credit on me. Your command, however, is inevitable. Thus declare the Veda, I shall do at once what pleases you. On hearing the most submissive words, the All-Merciful smiled and said, "Tell me, dear father, some device whereby the monkey host may cross the ocean or cross over." "My lord, the two monkeys, brothers Nila and Nala, got a boon in their childhood from a sect. Touched by them, even huge mountains will float on the ocean by your glory. Cherishing, my lord, your greatness, I too shall help you to the best of my ability. In this way, my lord, have the ocean bridged so that the glorious achievements of your may be sung in all three spheres of creations. With this arose, my lord, exterminate the race of the wild criminals inhabiting my northern coast." On hearing this, Sri Rama, who was tender-hearted as he was staunch in battle, immediately relieved the agony of the ocean surge. The god presiding over the ocean was rejoiced and gratified to witness Sri Rama's astonishing might and valor. He related to the lords all the doing of those villains, and bowing to his head or to his feet, ocean took his leave. The god presiding over the ocean left for his homes. The idea for bridging the ocean commended itself to the blessed Lord of the Raghu. This story of Sri Rama exploits in this kants, which wipe out the impurities of the Kali age, has been sung by the Tulsidas according to his own poor light. The excellency of Sri Rama, the Lord of Raghus, are abode of the delight, a pinaka for all doubt and unfailing remedy to sorrow. Therefore, giving up all other hopes and faith, ever sings and hear them, O foolish mind. A recital of the virtue of the ShriRam, the Lord of Raghu, bestow all blessings. Those who reverently hear them across the ocean, the mundane existence without any bark. Pause 24 for the 30 days recitation. Shri Ram Charitmanas Sakal Kalik Lush Vidwanse Pancha Sopana Samapta. Thus ends the fifth descents into the Mansa lake of the Shri Ram Christ that eradicates all the impurities of the Kali age. It's a day number 4 with Saturday, Sunday. Shri Ramayana.